Hello there, everybody. This is Sess, Joseph Entertainment. This isn't necessarily entertainment, though you may find it entertaining. But what I'm going to do is I had a request to show how you install the latest version of LibreOffice in Linux Mint. Now, Linux Mint is a distro based on Ubuntu, which is based on Debian. So this will work for any real Debian distro, Ubuntu, if you will, so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you kind of three installation methods. So this is the desktop. We have Firefox up there. What I'm going to do first is, so I don't have to wait on this later, is I'm going to go to LibreOffice.org. Okay? And I'm going to click download. This is for the more complicated method. I'm going to switch it to the deb package. Okay? And then I'm going to click download. Okay, we're going to click save and let Firefox do its thing, okay? Because it's going to take a minute to download. So I'm going to go back to the main site here. All right, so the first thing we're going to do in Linux Mint, this is 20.3, very much like 20.2. You can go check out the change logs and stuff, but it's the same as for what we're doing. Linux Mint comes pre-installed with Office, LibreOffice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open it, okay? LibreOffice, here we go. Now, we're concerning ourselves with the version. This is 6.4.7.2. Very stable version. Works great right out of the box. No worries here. I'm more interested in having something a little bit more bleeding edge. Or let's not even use that term, bleeding edge. Let's just say something a little more fresh, a little fresher. Bug fixes, new features, and stuff like that. So I try to stay up with the latest and greatest version. Well, there's a couple of ways we can do that. Okay. The easiest way to do that is to go to flathub.org, and I'll have the links in the description below. So let's go there. So this is FlatHub. If you're not familiar with FlatHub, you can download tons of software here simply through this website, and I'll show you how this works. We want LibreOffice. Alright, so we're going to type that in. So there's LibreOffice right there. We're going to click it. Now, LibreOffice, it kind of gives you a description of what it is, so on and so forth. But the version, that's what we want to know. So this came out on January 6th this year, 7252. Now let's go back to the LibreOffice home. And we're gonna, there it is, 7.2 is here. So we know this is the version we're gonna be looking for. So to do this, it's really simple. See that right there where it says install? Click it. Now we don't want to save anything. We want to open this with the file manager, the software manager, sorry. So we just click OK. And there it goes. All right, so all we gotta do is click install. It's going to install additional software. Hey, that's great. We're going to click continue. And we're going to let that install. Now, it's going to take a minute. Actually, it's moving a little faster than our download was. Our download's done in the background. Once this is done, we're going to have the latest version of LibreOffice. Okay? So we're almost there. Keep your fingers crossed. Breathe. Play some cool music. Okay, so it's done. It's going to do its final thing. And we're there. Okay? So bada bing, bada bang. We're going to close the software manager. We're going to leave that open. And we're going to go over here and go to Office. There it is. Any part of LibreOffice that was installed through Flatpak is going to have the Flatpak in parentheses, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Linux Mint. So we're just going to click it. Now our splash screen's a little different. This screen's a little different. It's now LibreOffice Community, so it's a little different. But we're going to go to Help, and we're going to go About LibreOffice, and there it is. Right there's the version we want, 7252. Okay? So we're going to click Close. And let's say we just want to go to Writer. So we're going to go to Writer, and there it is. We have LibreOffice Writer. Now, just a quick tip. Libre is gorgeous. Everything is very simplified up here. It's very easy to navigate and maneuver through. I like tabs. A lot of people believe that like Microsoft invented tabs and all this stuff, but they are not. They were way behind. It is implemented in LibreOffice now. So what you can do is go to View, User Interface, and just click on that tab section. Now, I want to apply this to Writer or every part of LibreOffice. I want it for every part of LibreOffice. So I click Apply to All, and now we have tabs. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3 easy. Okay, you're done. If that's all you wanted, you're done. You can close that puppy out. You're good. And every time you need it, you go back here, and you go to Office, and you get the flat pack. Now, this one's the older version. This is the latest and greatest, the beauty version. Okay? But let's say you're a little geeky. You're a little geeky like me. So let's go back over here to this tab, and we go over here to where our download section is in Firefox, and we're going to click right here where it says, it shows a little folder. Now, I downloaded it twice, so what I'm going to do is ignore this stuff. I'm going to delete all this out of here. Okay? Delete all this stuff. Ignore this, please. I should have got more prepared. But anyway, so we have just this, right? So we're going to right-click, extract here. That is it. That's how easy that is. If you're not used to TARs, there's no command line in Linux anymore for that. You don't need to do that. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to go to the READMEs. And we're going to open the READMEs, and we're going to look for a special section. Apparently I cannot grab this anymore. Okay. And we want to know how to install this via command line, which is right here. Okay. So I'm going to right-click, copy, close, go up, back to my debs folder. There's all the installation files. Now we have to do something a little different. So what we're going to do is right-click, open in terminal. Okay. So I'm going to make this window just a smidge bigger here. Where that blinking cursor is, I'm going to right-click and paste what we just copied. Now hit enter. There you go. Now we need to put in our root password. Okay. So we put that in and hit enter. It's installing. Okay. This is the same version that we did through Flatpak, but this is kind of the the hard way to do it, if you will. But I do it this way because I like it. I like using the terminal. I like doing these things like that. And it goes pretty quick. I'm in a VirtualBox, so it takes a little longer. A normal hardware experience, this takes very little time at all. And it keeps me refreshed on how to do these things. Okay? So why that's working is it goes through and does its installation. I'm going to come up here, back to this, and I'm going to close this. You don't have to do this now. It's up to you what you want to do now. And let that work. Now what I'm going to do is wait till that's done, because I'm getting ahead of myself. And I'm going to go over back to the Linux Mint menu. And when this is done, I'm going to open it, and you're going to see the different versions of LibreOffice we have in there. It's doing the menus right now. Gibbity gobbity gibbity goo. If you would, if you find this interesting, please subscribe. We have different content for different folks. Oh, we're done. Okay. Ignore that 21. So I'm going to close my terminal. Wink. Okay, I'm going to leave that open because I'm advertising. I don't work for them, though. Now let's go to Office. Now we have 3 different versions. We have LibreOffice that came with Linux Mint, the stable version of LibreOffice. We have the Flatpak, which is the newest version. And then we have the new version, which I installed via command line. We're going to open that. We're going to open up Writer. And it's exactly the same. Sometimes on fresh installs, you'll see this screen. I turned it off. And then I just X out of this. Okay. So this is what we just installed. So we're going to do the same thing that I like to do. View, User Interface, and go tabbed. Apply to all. And that's my install process. So it's already installed. You can install through Flatpak at flathub.org, or you can do it the way I did it by downloading it directly from LibreOffice.org. All right, so I'm going to close it. Oh, real quick mention for those of you in Linux that you're probably aware of, that if I, let's say I want to save this. The default is ODF, but if you look through here, you can save it as the docs, the Word versions, and that's with all the different programs with inside LibreOffice. You can save them in their Microsoft counterpart. I'm sure most of you know that, but just an FYI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click cancel here, and I'm just going to go ahead and close out of that. And that's LibreOffice getting the latest version in a nutshell. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip over, and then we're going to do this in Windows. So I'll be right back in a flash. All right, now we're in Windows. Okay, this is just a clean install of Windows. I'm in Firefox, and I've brought up the LibreOffice.org website. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the download process and installation. It's fairly simple. Now with Windows, depending on how you buy it, if you buy like a desktop or a laptop, usually you can get a trial version of Office or different versions of it, stuff like Microsoft Office, Office 365. But oftentimes it's time limited and it costs money. And if you're on a budget, it's just not practical oftentimes. But you kind of feel locked in because that you feel like, hey, that's all there is. Well, that's not necessarily the case anymore. And it hasn't been for a while. We're going to use LibreOffice on Windows now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here where it says download now, and we're going to click it. Now, it'll automatically identify what system you're on. For me, this is a Windows 64-bit system. But, of course, there's Linux, which we just showed, Mac, and then we have Windows. Okay? So most systems today are Windows 64-bit. So we're going to click download. Okay? So then it's going to bring up our dialog. We're going to click save file. And it's going to be downloaded. And it's downloaded. So we're going to go over here, click that puppy, and open it. And there we have LibreOffice 725, which is what we want. If you're using Google Chrome or Opera or Brave or Chromium or whatever the case may be, don't use Edge. Okay, let's just not use that. Let's not use Microsoft browsers. The new one's based on Google Chrome anyway, so you might as well use Google Chrome. Anyway, commentary aside, we're going to double click this and rock and roll. So we're just going to click next. We want the typical. Don't have to do anything. Custom doesn't mean anything. I'm going to go ahead and leave this, so create a desktop icon. Now, load LibreOffice during system startup. What this does is go ahead and preloads it into the memory so it opens quicker. If you're using modern hardware and stuff like that, I don't know if this is really a big deal. I never check this stuff. I got a robust system, so it just opens anyway, as you saw on the other screen, even in the virtual box that I'm running now. All right, so we're going to click install. Okay. Yes, we want this to make changes. Interestingly, you can tell me when the program is making changes, but you can't tell me when the viruses are making changes, or the hacks, or the phishing, or anything. Anyway, getting off on a diatribe there. Okay. As this installs, LibreOffice by default saves in the Open Document Format or Text, ODT. It will save as a Microsoft Office document, which I'll show you when we get in here. It's very similar to exactly what we did on Linux. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and click Finish here because we done. Okay? I'm going to close our file manager. I'm going to leave that open in the background and put it here because just as reference so it kind of gets in your brain here. So this is our icon right here. We're going to double click it. And I already have a document in the documents format in my documents folder, so it's reading that. So let's go ahead and open Writer document. And there we are. My tabs are already set. I think it's reading the prior configuration when I had one installed. So we're going to go to Help. Oh, I'm sorry, that's VirtualBox. Sorry. Home. And you can see with the tab, like with Home, this has a lot of stuff over here in Home. This is the tab feature. File, you can get a new save, export. This will export as a PDF. It's very, very easy to use. This is your save option up here. So let's go ahead and let's do view. I can't get out of VirtualBox. Okay, there's those there. I do not use this part in the Windows version. It's a little different, so we're not going to worry about it. Menu bar. There we go. So this little thing here, I'll open up the menu bar. So you go to View, we're going to go to User Interface, and we're going to go to Standard, and we're going to apply to all. Okay. So that takes us back to our standard bar. Okay. That's what it looks like fresh. As I told you in the last section, I like the tabbed. So we're going to go to User Interface. It's View, User Interface, and I'm going to go to Tabbed and click Apply to All. So I have my tab. Now, we're going to type a little something in there. Okay, and now I want to save that so I can open that up in Microsoft Office. Let's say I have an assignment due, or it's for work, or what have you. We're just going to click here, Save As, and it has Open Document Format, which is the normal for LibreOffice. So what we're going to do is click that, and we're going to choose, well, there we go, 365. So we'll click that, and we're just going to call it Libre and click Save. Now it's going to prompt us. Do we want to use the Word or the ODF? We're going to use Word for this example. All right. So now we're going to go into here, and we're going to go to our Documents. There's our Libre. We're going to go to Properties, and I'm going to show you it's a doc. Okay. So it's saved. So now somebody using Microsoft Office, they can open that. I hope that helped. Just a quick, brief installation of this, where to get it. Again, to change tabs, it's View, User Interface, Standard or Tabbed. I'm going to take it back to Standard just so you can see it. Anyway, there it is. It's just that easy. Now, did you see me pay for anything? I didn't have to pay for anything. Didn't have to sign up for anything. That's it. This is what's called open source, which means anybody can use it for anything they want to. You can put it on every PC in the house, which in my house, we do. We have it on every PC in this house. Okay. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Tell me if you want to know more. I thank you again for stopping by Toast of Entertainment. This isn't necessarily entertainment, but it was something that was asked for. Some content that somebody had requested. So if you would, please subscribe. Come back and hang out. All right. Thank you, folks.